Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
Apple execs now facing jail time for deliberately slowing down iPhones. Apple stands accused of breaking a French law which makes it illegal to deliberately reduce the lifespan of a product to increase the rate of replacement. By Matt Agarist, December 29, 2017. After a report and subsequent bombshell admission last week by Apple that they are deliberately slowing down phones in an effort to make them perform better, lawsuits have sprung up across the nation. Now, however, in France, Apple executives are facing far more than a potential civil suit, they are facing actual jail time. In August 2015, France passed a law that makes it a crime to deliberately reduce the lifespan of a product to increase the rate of replacement. The aptly named group, Halt à l'Obsolescence Programmée, HOP, Stop Planned Obsolescence, has brought the criminal lawsuit against Apple this week. If convicted of deliberate planned obsolescence, the tech giant's executives found responsible will be jailed for up to 2 years and may have to forfeit up to €300,000, and 5% of the firm's annual turnover. Apple has put in place a global strategy of programmed obsolescence in order to boost its sales of new iPhones, the group said. According to the French newspaper, The Local, HOP believes that the U.S. firm can be sued over the sale of all iPhones in France since the introduction of a law in August 2015 that made it a crime to deliberately reduce the lifespan of a product to increase the rate of replacement. It believes Apple could be liable for a fine in line with the value of all its iPhone French sales since the law came into force. Advertisement. The suit will be heard in a criminal court if prosecutors decide it is legitimate. Everything is organized to force consumers to renew their smartphones, said Laetitia Vasseur, the co-founder of HOP. Read more. Apple responds to consumer concern, makes iPads, iPhones, cop-proof, even with search warrants. However, when the phone is priced at €1,200, which is more than the SMIC, the minimum monthly wage in France, these practices are unacceptable and must be punished. It is our mission to defend consumers and the environment against this waste organized by Apple, she said. As TFTP reported last week, this discussion about throttled processor speed began after a Reddit post went viral earlier this month. The Redditor wrote that Apple appears to be slowing down old iPhones that have low-capacity batteries. After this post went viral, Apple was forced to respond and admitted to it. According to Apple, this deliberate throttling of processor speeds on older phones is an effort to keep them running smoothly. Apple claims they are slowing down your older iPhone so they can keep your iPhone from unexpectedly shutting down. View image on Twitter. View image on Twitter. Sam_SI. At Sam_Siruomua. So it's true, Apple intentionally slow down old iPhones. Proof: my iPhone 6 was bought 3 years ago and recently got really slow. App CPU-X shows iPhone CPU is underclocked, running at 600 MHz. After an iPhone battery replacement, CPU speed resumed to factory setting 1400 MHz. 3:38 a.m., December 20, 2017. 862 replies, 23,792, 23,792 retweets, 40,812, 40,812 likes. Twitter adds info and privacy. The throttling, according to Apple, began last year despite years of reports from users. Instead of fixing a hardware issue after users began to report widespread malfunctions with the iPhone 6s battery, Apple started to algorithmically alter how the phone uses power. The phone feels slower because it actually is slower. Apple says this improves safety. Although Apple says this practice began only last year, if we look at the past 5 years of Google search data, we can see a trend of the search term iPhone slow every September, the same month the new iPhones launched. Read more. iPhone just the beginning. Obama just announced he wants a backdoor to everything. iPhone. When reached for comment, Apple basically confirmed the findings but disputes the assumed intention. Our goal is to deliver the best experience for customers, which includes overall performance and prolonging the life of their devices. Lithium-ion batteries become less capable of supplying peak current demands when in cold conditions, have a low battery charge, or as they age over time, which can result in the device unexpectedly shutting down to protect its electronic components. Last year we released a feature for iPhone 6, iPhone 6s and iPhone SE to smooth out the instantaneous peaks only when needed to prevent the device from unexpectedly shutting down during these conditions. We've now extended that feature to iPhone 7 with iOS 11.2, and plan to add support for other products in the future. Instead of telling customers who bought the phones, which cost upwards of $850, that they were going to throttle the phone's performance, Apple simply rolled out the update and told no one. And now, they have the audacity to call this deliberate throttling a feature. Now, this tech giant has begun damage control and is telling everyone that they had to do this to keep the devices working smoothly. But this raises the question, would Apple customers willingly buy a device that they know will be throttled in upcoming updates and not perform like they expect? Instead of dropping the performance of the devices, which many of the users are probably still paying for through their cell carriers, Apple should replace the batteries at no charge. As CNBC notes, sure, it's an expensive undertaking for Apple, but a user should be guaranteed a certain level of performance for the lifetime of a product, until Apple stops supporting it with new software. Read more. Edward Snowden exposes the FBI's claims about Apple's iPhone as fraudulent bulls. However, it appears Apple has no intention of doing so, most likely because the throttling of older iPhones undoubtedly boosts sales of newer ones. Instead of offering new batteries for the $1,000 devices, Apple will now sell you one for $29. The marketing genius has turned a scandal into a profit, and their users will likely eat it up. While the move to jail Apple execs may sound like a solution, here at TFTP we believe that voting with your dollars is far more effective at forcing change than using the state. The choice is up to you. Will you continue to buy a product you know will be deliberately slowed down, or will you refuse to give Apple your money until they make this right?
County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too, because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if some, if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, If you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.